You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
We've got Kyle. We've got Wargon. Cerruti still in Mexico. I sent him a text, or he sent me a text this morning and asked me something. And then I was like, wait, I had a work question. I go, are you still in Tulum? And he said, yes. So you know what? Enjoy Tulum. No work questions for me. Our email address is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. Today's Life Advice is brought to you by Amazon Business. And before we begin, here's my first piece of advice. You absolutely need to try Amazon Business. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Okay, let's jump in. We covered the spectrum on the last episode from children's books to breast augmentation. We've had a lot of feedback on this.
I had a good book recommendation, so I'd be interested to see what you've uncovered.
Yeah, well, there was one. Well, there was a lot of people that alerted me to something that I didn't know about certain children's books, that they become like part of public domain, so you don't need the copyright part of it. Somebody was like, hey, you fucking idiots, do better. I'm like, how are you this mad about not knowing a copyright rule with children's books? But, you know, people can get really upset sometimes.
It's weird. Like Mickey Mouse became that way. And now people are making like horror movies with the old timey Mickey Mouse and like Winnie the Pooh. It's just like 100 years old and you can just pervert it any way you want. It sounds like, yeah. So, you know, if some terms 100 and then somebody's going to do something weird with it. So I guess that applies to children's books too.
We had a lot of people saying you can read my children's books. I just don't know that it's that easy to go ahead and do that without something being signed. People pitching me their books that have nothing to do with children. Actually, one book pitch we are going to give, because I've seen this one before. Michael Meyer wrote this Ben Franklin book called Ben Franklin's Last Bet. He said 6'2", 190, marathon runner, trading for Edinburgh, Scotland in May. Player comp Malik Sealy. That's why I read it. Shout out to Malik Sealy. Ryan, you have my permission to read my book, Benjamin Franklin's Last Bet. HarperCollins introduced kids to Franklin's love of Boston and Philly and hatred of lawyers taking over the federal government. His last will and testament is still paying young people to learn trades today. I hold the copyright and can help choose a section that will put even toddlers wearing worsted hose and a tricorner to sleep. Yeah, that would be boring to a kid, but I'm excited about it.
It's a great pitch,
sir. So I've seen that book in stores. I think it did really well. So let's figure we give him this. I mean, look, once he said Malik Sealy, he was in. Some guys sent us pictures of their wives. You guys are getting way too comfortable. But, you know, there's just not a lot we can do with that. We don't have video yet. And we never do that if we ever get the pictures. All right. Speaking of pictures, let's just perfectly segue into this. What is the correct way to respond to a nude? Here we go. 6'3", 180. Between a bachelor party and a full week of greedy eating after it doesn't feel right, down to 185. Super specific. Thanks. Gym stats, 245. Bench, 345. Squat. God, I read that weird. Don't deadlift because frankly I hate it and I don't want to. NBA comp Danilo Gallinari can beat you with a drive and pull up from range, but ultimately not as good as you think I would be. Context, I'm 30. She's 32. This is the first nude she had sent me in our pretty short relationship, and she wasn't incredibly upset. I actually told her today I was going to write you guys in and ask for your opinion. On to the story. After a particular bad day at work earlier this week, I was texting my girlfriend how frustrated I was and sent her the I'm dead inside Michael Scott gif right before heading into my first workout post-bachelor trip. Trip was 3 days of clubs, tequila, 6 a.m. bedtimes in a tropical city. As you can imagine, after how old was the guy again? 30?
30?
Yeah.
30.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, 30, it's going to hurt. As you can imagine, after suffering through a 2-day hangover workout and almost passing out in the sauna, I was running on fumes as I walked home. As I checked my phone, I see my girlfriend sent me a super sexy, if she's listening, nude photo while I was at the gym. The conversation is below. Her, nude. I hope this makes you feel a little less dead inside. Me, haha. That does very much help. Thank you. Oh, there's a kissy face emoji in there.
Okay, that helps. Helps a lot, actually.
I appreciate you wanting to help and successfully doing so, but enough about me. How are you? That was your response? What are you, the accountant?
That's right. Huh.
I appreciate you wanting to help. Yeah, that's just very formal, man.
Yeah.
I will add this relationship is very new, 3 months, which might weigh in on your advice. A couple texts later, she mentioned my lack of enthusiasm, and she publicly wasn't going to. Oh, and that publicly would be a different. She said she probably wasn't going to do that again. I was pretty surprised at her reaction, as I figured my responses were respectful and it showed appreciation. I thought back to 2 years ago when I was dating my buddy's girlfriend. Oh, buddy's girlfriend's friend. Jesus,
that helps.
You don't deserve any nudes.
Yeah, there's. I've had like 3 in here. I thought the Danilo sentence was weird. I was dating my buddy's girlfriend's friend, and he mentioned her being weirded out after I replied to a nude she had sent me with, you guessed it, thank you. I texted him about it, and he was flabbergasted that I respond, thank you once again. Granted, I guess I should learn from my mistakes, but now I'm wondering, what is the correct response to a nude? Was I not horny enough? Is this obvious? And am I just a moron? Would love to hear your thoughts on my response. How if you would have responded differently. Love the pod. Been listening since Southwest canceled everyone's flights back home in 20 and 22. And my boys and I listened to Life Advice for 6 straight hours in a rental car. I've attached the nude below in case that helps.
Damn it.
He did not. He did not. Very funny way to end it. Sorry that I mangled your email a couple different times there, but we're getting fresh here. Fresh, long day. All right, Kyle, why don't you take the lead on this? What do you think the correct way to respond?
Well, there's 2 avenues. I'm not going to cover the second one. If this is going to launch into a full, you got 30 minutes to sext and we're going to close the door, that's a whole different thing. Not going to get into that. Then I think you maybe get a little more in depth with your answers. Maybe see the bubbles, the text bubbles going for a little longer before you respond. But I think if this is just like this is a fun point of my day. I think maybe to keep it light, it's like emojis and GIFs. I was thinking maybe the Chris Pratt emoji from Parks and Rec, where he's like that one.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
There
you
go.
want to show
Chris
you're
Pratt
excited.
Works.
Yeah, you want to show you're excited, but you don't want to,
What about Chris Pine?
Yeah, I mean hotter, but I don't know if if he's doing anything with his face that would warrant replying to an impromptu nude. But I think emojis, maybe like a thank you, smiley face, something like that. If you guys have been together longer than that, I would say maybe throw a love you in there, but he said it's new, so maybe that would be a weird time to say the first I love you. But yeah, I like keeping it light, showing that you're happy. The very formal, thank you, ma'am. And a good day to you. I don't think
you don't want to be given like a handshake emoji.
Right, correct. I think hearts, the heart eyes, just showing her that she took a step, and you don't want that kind of spontaneity to be crushed, which it sounds like you may have just crushed it. She's like, well, I'm never doing that again. So I think you want to show that you're excited without being a creep. But yeah, I think emojis like a thank you, whatever, would be good, but not the Dwight Schrute, it is your birthday, period, banner, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like she thought you were having a bad day. Maybe tell her hey, this made my day. Show some enthusiasm.
Can't wait to
what
see you
I'm
later.
Confused about is did he tell her that he was sending this question into us after she sent him this?
Yes.
It sounds like they had a whole conversation about it.
That doesn't seem like the right move to me.
I think
it's
it's
possible you
move.
have no game. It could be totally possible.
Well, no game isn't accurate. No game is not accurate.
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right.
All right. This is the second time that he's done the exact same thing. It's incredible that he's just trying to be really polite. He's trying to avoid being creepy when he's kind of getting the green light to be creepy.
Yeah, if you overreact, be like, this guy's a loser. Well, if you act like you've been there before. Right. So he's trying to keep a poker face, I guess.
Right. So are you into cannibalism? Follow up. It's whoa, dude. I just got out of the shower. Huh? I I just think it's really funny that he's trying to be like super polite and not cross any kind of line. And now he's talked himself into just being like the HR nude recipients. And so that's tough. Well, yeah, I mean, look, you've done it twice. Adjust and tell her that. I think that's what you need to do, is that you need to tell her, like, I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know like how you wanted me to go with this, but I think you have to be in that moment, like incredibly appreciative of the person that you're with opening up that door, right? You have to show the appreciation. And again, it's a generational thing where like it just becomes standard operating procedure when you're south of a certain age. Although I still think one of my favorite ever pandemic tweets was when the guy was like, if you're asking for nudes during the pandemic, guys, seriously. And it was like the ultimate pandering tweet. I don't even know who did it, but it was just like, of all the things that people were worried about, it was like, this guy's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stand.
America needs
for
this.
Yeah, I'm going to stand for
this.
decency. I mean, it's probably not as bad as this one writer that tried to tell millions of Americans to just bail on Thanksgiving. But I don't know, man. Don't let there be a third time. Okay. Explain
Next time, just
to
text
her.
back 8 out of 10.
Right. Well, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's the dumbest thing.
I know.
Oh, you were kidding, Kyle.
Yeah,
all right. Very
It
good.
was a
Very good joke. Sorry. Yeah, you just have to learn. You've been invited to into a room, man, that you need to open the door to a little bit more.
Yeah, peruse
That's
the
all.
gifts in your iPhone app and just see like just one that you'll have in your back pocket and be like,
Have like
this
5.
is perfect. Yeah.
Maybe type in like, I got a new photo, see what comes up.
Probably nothing.
Do you send her the one that says, if you don't hawk to, I don't talk to you?
Just mess around with some prompts and see what you like. And then when this comes up, you'll know exactly what to do.
Big Cat turned 40 yesterday, so he sent me that one yesterday because I was like, now that you're 40, you can send old memes, 2-week-old memes.
That's good.
It'd be incredible. And so he sent me that one. And I was like, that might be even too new,
Right?
Because it's the first thing. I think it's not your eyesight. It's what should I send, and then what you think is sendable. Just the threshold is lowered quite a bit on all that kind of stuff. So I think that's probably the best advice. Have again, I kind of hate the word, but like angling toward mild horniness GIF responses. Huh? Is that good?
Yeah.
Do we nail it?
I think that's right.
Let's move on.
Okay. This one's so depressing and it's a Friday. I'm not reading it. Dating advice. No, I don't think we're reading this one. All right. I gotta search for it. I know where it is. We'll find it. Joyride with sister-in-law gone wrong. Love the pod. 6'2", 240. Player Big Baby Davis. Bored man gets paid mentality. And I am known to set some mean ass screens. Big Baby had some footwork though too, man. Nasty footwork. I have a little bit of a dilemma on my hands. My fiance and I get invited to her brother's birthday party at their home over the weekend. Her brother and his fiance. So I don't know if he changed the names or not, guys, but let's call her brother Gerard, and the fiance will be Minnie. All right.
Interesting choice.
Very nice. Yeah. So Gerard and Minnie, very nice. I've always gotten along. We had some drinks, celebrated her brother's 28th birthday. Everything was going well until I was outside alone, ripping a heater, Marlboro Red. Shout out. Wow, Kyle. This guy does not fuck around. And when I was approached by my soon-to-be brother-in-law's wife, the conversation was pretty normal until she suddenly said she was bored and wanted to show me her new car and suggested we go take a look at the vehicle. I work at a dealership selling cars, so I thought she was wanting to show me some specs and get my opinion on her new vehicle. We have always been cordial and friendly with one another, and I've always thought she is a nice girl and nothing else. After showing me the car, she suggested we go for a joyride, and I was pretty at the time. I thought nothing of it, so we both got in her vehicle and took it for about a 20-ish minute ride around the town. Nothing happened. We listened to some Jelly Roll, her favorite artist. Where are you guys at with Jelly Roll?
know of
Okay.
Blind
their
spot.
existence. Yeah.
I know he's had quite a big couple of years here, but I got a blind spot. But again, I'm stuck in like 2012, so I don't know.
All right, no problem.
Musically.
No problem. Just asking the crew. Told a few jokes, kept everything lighthearted. When we got back to her house, we were greeted by my fiance and Gerard, both of whom had concerned looks on their faces. Gerard looked visibly upset, but was trying to hide it by saying, "Whoa, guys, where did you go?" In a somewhat joking tone. Before I could respond, my fiance also chimed in and said, "You guys were gone for a while," in a very serious and concerned voice. Minnie laughed it off and said she was just showing off her new ride. And I responded by saying, "What a great car she has," and commenting on how she got a great deal on it. From that, this poor guy, he's just trying to have a Marlboro Red. And
now everything he does looks guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Maybe
I've never seen windows go down that fast. That's incredible.
I'm trying to think what cigarette could he have been smoking where he would have gotten the benefit of the doubt. Not that one. Probably not. Cools, Parliament's out. From that point forward, the night was incredibly awkward. We all managed to keep tensions at bay. On the ride home, my fiance informed me that she was pretty upset by the entire thing with Minnie and asked me several questions about why I went on a ride with her. I laughed it off jokingly and told her I was being nice, didn't want to make things awkward by saying no. My fiance proceeded to tell me how much of a whore he is and that she has a history of being unfaithful to Gerard. Well, with a name like that, you know. She then asked me flat out if we did anything. I was disgusted by the suggestion and told her it's a ridiculous accusation. She had nothing to worry about. Since that night, things have been pretty awkward around my fiance, and she keeps side-eyeing my phone when I'm on it. Well, you probably wouldn't be texting her immediately afterwards if you had done anything. Did I mess up by accepting this joyride? Any tips on how to manage the situation going forward would be greatly appreciated. You're just going to have to go full siege mentality here. You have to go on the offensive. You have to go, hey, we got to get this right. We got to get it over with right now. What's on your mind? Like, lay it all out. And then this is the last time we're going to talk about it. Because if you're going to hold me, because of somebody else's track record, when I'm assuming, giving you the benefit of the doubt as an emailer, a clean track record, nothing to ever suggest. Now, you could just be dating somebody incredibly insecure. You know the answer to that already. And it doesn't mean it's the worst. It just means that things like this happen. There's just all this stuff, and it can be in your own girlfriend's past, because anybody that knows has been out there in the wild. There's just some people that are so defeated by previous experiences that literally you're starting at such a deficit that everything that you're doing is kind of being questioned, and it completely sucks. Now, in this case, like, this isn't somebody you're just dating. This isn't a 3-month nude, right? This is your live-in deal, right? The whole thing. So is this new behavior, that's actually kind of better if it is. Obviously, it is better than if it's new behavior, because then you can just go, what is going on with you? And just because of what her track record is and the stuff that's happened with your brother and all that, like, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing. Do you think I would do that? Do you think I'm that stupid? And Ken, the problem is with women, really, I don't know, men or women, because I doubt women would just be smart enough to never say it. But if you were a man, it'd be like, hey, if I'm going to do it, you think I would do that? And then it's like, well, now, now you just admitted that you're going to do it. Now you have a whole different argument.
So then what's your plan, Todd?
Right.
How are you going to pull it off?
Yeah. Right. So who is it? You can't let it linger. I know this sounds a little mean, but you almost have to make them feel guilty about ever thinking it and be so determined to go, like, I'm not giving because you didn't do it, right? You didn't do anything. We're giving you the benefit of the doubt. You didn't do anything. And you have to be like kind of forceful about it. And I know this sucks in the dynamic, but look, people get into arguments and all that kind of stuff. This is one of those deals where you're like, let's go. Say it all. And I'm just going to let you know right now, like, my goal is probably going to be making you feel bad that you even thought it. Which is, I know it sounds shitty and mean, but it's probably the right way to go. End it. Nip this thing right now.
Yeah, I think the overt way is definitely the approach. Definitely bring it up. Be like, listen, I can tell, I can feel that something's off, and for multiple reasons, let's talk about it. You can even be like, I'm a people pleaser. Sorry, like these people are attached your family, and we're going to be, this is a forever thing as far as I'm concerned. So, I didn't want weird feelings with, somebody attached to your brother. So I just tried to keep the peace, and it seemed okay. So I think you can like go that way. It's like, dude, I was doing this because I want to feel like a part of this family and whatever. Like, I didn't know all this other stuff, and we could talk about whatever you want, but maybe there's a way to seem like you were a good guy. Maybe you were just like, listen, I didn't want her to go by herself. She was buzzed. I was just making sure everything was okay. I think there's a ways to show that you're a good guy in the situation, as well as like, hey, say what you got to say, because we can't. I don't know if it's been a month has passed, if it's just been a couple of weeks, but like that's a gross feeling when they're just acting different, and you're like, until this is solved, it's just going to be this. It's not going to fall away. So I think definitely you're go on the offensive, bring this up instead of how many passive aggressive things can be exchanged between you two before somebody starts yelling about it.
Yeah, based on the information from the emailer did nothing wrong, and I think you just need to like make that super clear that all you did was go for a drive. Like, that's all. Like,
that's his business. It's his industry.
Did the emailer even know that she was being unfaithful? Like, did he know that she was being unfaithful? Or
I don't
did the
know.
girlfriend inform him that after?
We don't have that.
We don't know. So, like, I think you just gotta, nothing happened. You gotta trust me on this one. Won't happen again. We'll steer clear of her, but I didn't do anything wrong in the moment. All we did was go for a drive.
Just trying to keep this family close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a lead on a trade-in. I know your family, but I think that transmission was a little...
Was hoping for a December to remember.
Yeah, something wonky in there.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe not that
pull,
phrasing.
Mike.
Yeah.
Nice pull.
Yeah. That's really good. Was that Lexus?
Yeah.
I had a Lexus once. Traded in, left some stuff. Sales guy was like, hey, I think I left like a couple portable speakers, and didn't see it. It's like nothing against Lexus. It was the one guy that I had. I think ultimately the goal should be in all this kind of stuff. And like, this drives me crazy. It's like the relationships are hard enough. Somebody else's history and the dynamic of their thing, whether it's your brother's insecurity or her track record, and then you're in all of that somehow I'm the bad guy out of all the characters. That's what you need to avoid. You need to figure out a way to avoid that. So, speaking of getting business done, today's life advice was brought to you by Amazon Business, the ultimate time-saving tool for business buyers. Visit business.amazon.com to learn more. Thanks to Kyle. Thanks to Oregon. Rudy back next week. Make sure you check out our YouTube page and subscribe to that, as well as 3 days next week. So normal schedule next week, trade deadline. So a lot going on. Ryen Russillo Podcast, Ringer, Spotify.